YNN's Carmella Mataloni spoke with firefighters involved, as well as one of the people who escaped that home. She joins us now from the scene on Park Street with more. Carmella.
Hi, Jody. Yes, take a look behind me. This is all that's left of the house that kept firefighters very busy this morning. Officer Smith's family, his friends, and co-workers will get to say one last final goodbye to their fallen friend.
2 troopers were ambushed and shot at a barracks in Blooming Grove near Scranton. Joining us now from the Binghamton newsroom with the very latest is our Carmella Mataloni. Carmella.
Hi, Jody. That shooting took place late Friday night during a shift change. And since then, we've been given minimal information surrounding this shooting.
13 lives were lost on this day 5 years ago, right here inside the American Civic Association. And this sign behind me pretty much puts it the best way anyone can. Powell's attorneys asked for a delay in the trial, which was granted by Judge Cawley, who's presiding over this case.
Hi, Alexandra. Well, everybody is so excited to get this event underway. A lot of the tents are up, the vendor signs, everybody's getting ready. And if you actually take a look behind me, you could see some of the balloonists getting one of their hot air balloons ready.
Broome County is issuing a state of emergency right now. Our Carmella Mataloni is there to tell us more about what's going on. Carmella, pretty bad where you are.
Hi, Julie. Yes, absolutely. You know what? The snow it's lightened up a little bit, but let's take a look over here. This is how heavy the snow is. I mean, it's good playing snow for kids, not so much for those people who have to go out and plow it. Temperatures have been bouncing from -2 to 0 all morning.
Our Carmella Mataloni is in Vestal. She tells us how the winter weather conditions are affecting everyone. Hi, Carmella.
Hi, Julie. Mother Nature certainly does not want to give us a break this winter. It's another morning of a very tough commute, very messy commute. Soldiers tell us while these training exercises do take some time, it keeps them prepared and ready for the mission ahead. Many of the students who I spoke with who will be living here on campus say there are a number of added benefits, one of them being that sense of independence. The other is the fact that they can actually walk right to their classes. One of the nice things about this facility is that as residents' health care needs increase, they could stay in the same building, moving from assisted living over to skilled nursing. This expansion will increase productivity and also milking capacity. And right now around me there are 800 cows, but in 2014 there'll be 800 more. One of the cool things about the Clayton Boat Museum is not only can you look at the antique boats, but you can also take a ride on one.
It's always difficult when anything like this happens, and you know, all we could do is support each other, support their families, you know, support our brothers in law enforcement.
Some traveled down the road, others hours from home. Thousands of law enforcement officials stood at attention outside First Baptist Church in Johnson City, where they paid their final respects to fallen New York State Trooper Christopher Skinner.
We've had to go through a number of these over the years. I think it's more of a pride issue. It's a law enforcement issue. It's something that brings us all close. It's a reality of what inevitably could happen to anyone.
One Ohio State Trooper who also has Southern Tier roots came to say goodbye to more than just a brother in uniform. He was saying goodbye to someone he knew and someone he interned under. He says sending his condolences in person was something he had to do.
The thoughts and prayers are still with him. We try to give him as much support as we can, even being from out of state.
Others from places like Alaska, Florida, and Arkansas all showed the bond between the brotherhood, making sure Trooper Skinner's family knew his law enforcement family was there to help in any way they could.
This is just definitely a brotherhood, and it's really touching. It's really hard to sit here and speak about it now. Never known him all the way from Arkansas, but when it hits us hard, it hits all of us.
We support our brothers in law enforcement no matter what happens, and you know, it's an absolute honor for us to be able to come up here and take part in this ceremony.
Others who were close to Trooper Skinner say his death is a tragic loss to both the community and the New York State Police. But if they could take anything away from today, it's that overwhelming amount of support that they witnessed here during his services. In Johnson City, Carmella Mataloni, Time Warner Cable News. Karen, back to you.
She wasn't supposed to be here on that day. She was supposed to be with the family, but she got a call that her services were needed.
That day was April 3rd, 2009, when a gunman named Jiverly Wong entered the American Civic Association on Front Street. He fired 98 rounds, took the lives of 13 people, then turned the gun on himself.
Being back here at the ACA especially, it brings back a lot of memories of that day.
A group of people gathered outside the ACA Thursday morning for a moment of silence to remember those lives lost. Among the crowd were members of the victims' families who say even after 5 years, Their wounds have yet to heal, especially for Lubomir Zabnu and his family. He lost his wife and his children, their mother.
It is very difficult and no one really there to offer assistance. So then I reflect, here's where really Maria, with her spirit of have faith, endurance, really comes true.
After a short prayer and a moment of silence, the families caught up with one another. They say it's those familiar faces that bring comfort to a dark situation.
These are people we didn't know 5 years ago. So over the past 5 years, we've kind of become friends, and it's nice to see a familiar face, somebody that's going through the same thing.
Daniel Lord owns a music shop just a few doors down from the 17 East nightclub on Clinton Street. He says Friday's lockdown is a day many people in the neighborhood have been waiting for.
The element that was in there, illegal bar and everything like that, it was just the shootings. It made the neighborhood, look trashy and not what it really is.
Binghamton Mayor Rich David, along with Binghamton Police Chief Joseph Zukuski, officially put the lockdown notice on 17 East Friday morning. The nightclub was one of 9 locations raided during a multi-agency drug ring investigation last month, which ultimately led to the arrest of 14 gang members, also known as the Mac Ballers. It was a high crime spot for drugs, violence, and gambling.
I think it's very important to highlight that there has been a lot of neighborhood disturbances and criminal activity in relation to this particular business. If I had to describe it, I would refer to this business as one of the primary locations in the city of Binghamton, almost a headquarters, if you will, for legal activity.
The building is owned by the mother of suspected gang member Calvin Johnson, who police are still looking for. While Johnson is believed to be the head of 17 East, the business is in the name of his girlfriend.
In reality, he ran this place, he ran his criminal enterprise out of here with a lot of other Mac Ballers out of New York City. But as I said, he's still at large. He's a federal fugitive.
Despite the club being locked down, the residential units and barbershop in the building can stay as is. The locks on the nightclub have been changed, and the city will now hold the keys. Community members say it's nice to see public safety as a top priority.
It's been a problem for a while. It's good to see this new administration doing something about the problem.
It was a busy day for members of the 630th Clearance Company on Fort Drum as they put their skills to the test during an urban breach training exercise.
We're going to take fire, turn fire. We're going to deal with casevacs, medevacs, so that new guys can learn how to properly call up the 9-line medevac, get everything done under stress and fire.
In order to practice securing a location, soldiers set up explosive cords, known as detonation cords, on these wooden boards. They waited for their mark, and then they went inside to get their target.
We're going to blow the charge, breach through the doors, send about 3 people in the room, shoot the enemy, call it clear, come out, done.
For some soldiers, breach training is something they've done many times, but troops say it's important for new soldiers to go through the exercises and get on the same page.
People come and go in the Army, and right now we got a lot of new guys that we got to train up from scratch, from day zero pretty much, and we got to train them up to the experienced guys.
The soldiers tell us while these training exercises do take some time, it keeps them prepared and ready for the mission ahead.
The training that we're doing right now, we don't really do overseas, but it's good to know because we're a light infantry unit, and we need to know a lot of information, a lot of different tasks that we get tasked out to do, and these are just like refresher courses for us to practice on.
Helps keep the motivation up, the enthusiasm to make them want to get out there and actually go at it and do it, so they're not slow poking around.
Soldiers tell us they take part in these breach trainings at least 4 times a year to make sure everyone is prepared. On Fort Drum, Carmella Mataloni, YNN.